afternoon on what is a warm, grey and cloudy day. It is Tuesday the 2nd of April and I'm in the reading up with a nice hot cup of tea and an expansion for HeroQuest to unbox. This is Against the Ogre Horde. It's a quest pack. It's the latest for the HeroQuest system. And of course the HeroQuest system originally published 1989, something like that, by MB Games, the Games Workshop, and it's really what would have been the not the first, but the first big dungeon sort of role-playing board game hybrid, as it were. You had Dungeon, of course, before then, but this one was the one that kind of made impact on the hobby because it got a lot of advertising. Games Workshop was big, it appeared on, and people really grabbed onto it because it gave you everything you needed to play with a board and figures and dice and everything, and it wasn't too complex. So, Against the Ogre Horde quest pack. Zygon's sinister ministrations creep further into the lands beyond the realm. Restless whispers drift through the villages on the outskirts of the realm, speaking of the violent and sudden incursions of the ogre people on communities previously untouched by them. Zygon's latest plot has ensnared the reprint Horde, a powerful but isolated clan of ogres to the north. Playing as one of the HeroQuest's brave hordes, you must enter the world's end arena to prove your mettle as warriors, locate the hidden lair of the ogre horde, and weed out the root of the corruption at the heart of their clan. Battle at the World's End tournament for gold, glory, and gold. Take up the tournament gauntlet and challenge Zygon's might in a specialist combat system. Will you emerge victorious? There we go. That's what we're getting at the back. Let's have a look inside. I must admit, I never actually played HeroQuest back in the day. By the time I was a little bit old for its market audience, as it were, and I didn't have the ready money to buy the game when I could be buying, what I considered proper role-playing games. Whereas I consider this actually quite a lot of fun. Sort of like a nice light alternative to role-playing. So what we have in here is this. You've got like a board there. I presume that's going to be the site of the arena. Put it down there carefully. We've also got a little bit of a note about the companion app, which will let you play more easily. You've got other tiles to battle over. They're a little flimsy, I would say. And more. There we go. This is actually double-sided. So we've got like a river location, and then an internal location with a great ball of flame, and then lifting the cardboard, you've got booklet. So that is the Against the Ogre Horde quest books. Let's have a look at that. Fantastic illustration on the back. And as ever, this is presented in landscape rather than portrait format. So you've got begin with insight into the reprint people, list of all the contents, and then dungeon features, tiles, and reading the map, which is all going to be quite different to what you would normally expect. How to play the quests, including basically a better illustration of the ogre, and covering multi-phase enemies, ranged enemies, animal allies, dread sorcerer spells. Full explanation of the rules variant. Essentially, this is a very different game. World's End tournament. How to set up the challenge area. So you've got essentially the central area and two abutting areas. Handling solo combatants, death in the arena, combat tiles, and how to play the tournament outside of quests as an alternative. So you could have a monster versus monster variant, optional rule for player safeguards, and then we've got a World's End tournament team roster sheet to use. A message from the mentor, essentially the figure guiding you through this quest. We've got a quest map guide as well. And here we go. Quest 1, good done. Tournament Gauntlet. Proven Victory, Part 2. Glory and Gold, 3. And you've got the full details of the stats, and here we actually, Infiltration in the Fortress of the Ogre, here we switch back to the main board. And Beyond the Gate. So you've got the base map, and then there's essentially a bit of an introduction and all the details that you need in which to play that encounter. Lair of the Ogre Horde. Into the tumultuous halls. So you've got a bit of a story here, a progression, you know, going through the gauntlet, going through the tournament, proving yourself a champion, and then infiltrating the ogre lands and halls. Here we have the Fortress of the Ogre Lord, and then fight to the surface, and a conclusion, and then design your own quest adventures on section at the end, as always. And that's swap that back in there. Oh, and we'll torn it. Put that up there, and then we have, see, let's show you the cards as they're going to come out. So there's the miniatures. You can see they're actually quite sturdily placed in there. You've got the cards as normal. Slide those off. So you've got a druid character, wolf. You've basically got male and female, wolf, ogre, mercenary, ogre warrior, ogre commander, ogre champion, ogre lord. So we've got in here, and then they're accompanied by orc archers and goblin archers and skeleton archers, and we've got various spells. So this is like mind lock, basically different types of mind lock which can be cast, and then mind burst, several of those, and then we have dominate. You've got a handful of druid spells, so shapeshift, you become a bear, summon pixies, and then gain life force. So that's the cards in here. I'm going to see whether or not this is now. In some cases, you get quite a lot of miniatures in these sets. So this may be double layered. I shall find out in a moment. But one of the things that about these expansions is that they are very tightly placed within the box. Where does it want to go on? There we go. So as you can see, so I'm actually holding this up, and it's not falling out. So let's have a look at these. There we go. Archer. That's going to be the orc archer. Two of those. Got the was 4 of those actually. Goblin archers. And then you've got ogres of different persuasion, and they're quite big, meaty figures. You know, if you were using them, you could easily grab them and use them in another role-playing game if you wanted to. Because they're nice and chunky, and they really do have quite a presence. As you can see, big fat king, you know, ogre lord there, and this does indeed second layer. So what we've got here, those are the skeletal archers. Not quite so clearly defined because essentially the use of because there's not a lot of contrast on them. And you've got, I'm quite sure what that is. I think that's the female druid. The male druid. Possible wolf companion, or whatever if they transform into that. And then you've got various pieces of furniture. So quite a chunky basically door, and then that actually slides up so you can take that out and it's open. That's a nice touch. So you've got 2 of those. You have various wall features. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. And then last of all, what you have is the throne with the face of, essentially it looks like a great beast carved into it, but thrown over it is a skin of, looks like to be a great bear. That's a really nice touch, because they could have just left that bare. Yeah, sorry about the pun. But that hanging over, just, you know, even seen from behind, that's quite effective. It's quite effective. So I'm quite impressed by what's in there. It's an interesting setup. I think it's going to be a very different campaign to what you normally would expect. I'm just going to make sure that that's sat down in a HeroQuest campaign. Put that all back safely. So that is Against the Ogre Horde. Quest back for the Hero Game System, published by Avalon Hill, essentially the imprint of Hasbro. So, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here typically with a box containing a book or game or role-playing game, or in this case an expansion for a role-playing board game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.